Hi everybody, it's Claire from King and I. Today we're going to look at doing the half double crochet. So grab your hook, grab your yarn, let's go. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the next tallest stitch. These are our single crochets that we've just learned to do in the previous video. If you've missed that, I'll pop a link in for you. So this single crochet is the least tall stitch. This is the smallest stitch that we use in crochet, and it gives us a very dense fabric. So the next tallest stitch is something that we call half double crochet in American terms, or half treble crochet in UK terms. Now, as we said before, it's exactly the same stitch, it's just that it has a different name. So when you're looking at your pattern and it asks you to do a stitch, make sure it says whether it's the American, the US version of the stitch, or the UK term that's being used. Otherwise you could end up with a pattern that looks slightly wonky. So this is the US half double crochet and the UK half treble crochet. So before, when we did our single crochets, we talked about turning chains, didn't we, which help us to give a straight edge to our work, and the turning chain stands at the side of the first stitch. So with single crochet we did one turning chain. With our half double crochet we're going to do 2 turning chains. So we've turned our work and we do 1, 2 chains just to give us a straight edge, because this is a slightly taller stitch. Okay, so with our single crochet what we did was we inserted our hook into that first stitch, didn't we? Today what we're going to do is a slightly taller stitch, so we're going to add a layer onto that. So for the half double crochet we will yarn over before we insert our hook into the stitch. So we yarn over, then we insert our hook, we yarn over again and pull up a loop the way we did with our single crochet. So now we have 3 loops on our yarn, 3 loops on our hook. Then we yarn over a second time and we pull our hoop through all 3 of those loops, and you can see there I've got my first stitch with 2 bars of the stitch there. So let me show you that again. We're going to yarn over first and then we're going to insert it under both bars of the stitch below, yarn over a second time and pull up a loop. So we've got 3 loops on our hook. So then we yarn over again and pull through all 3, and now we have 2 stitches that we've completed. I'll show you that a third time because it is slightly different. Okay, so yarn over first, into your stitch below, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. And we just carry on, yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3 until we get to the end of our sample. Okay, you see, I'll go to the end of the row and I'll see you there. Okay, hopefully you've made it to the end of your first row of half double crochet. So what we're going to do now is start our next row, and that's just the same as we started our first row. So we're going to turn our work around, and then remember we have a slightly taller stitch, so we're going to do 2 chains as our starter chain, turning chain. You see here 1, 2, and that will help us get a straight edge down the side of our work that will sit up the side of our first stitch. So then we just carry on as we did before. So yarn over, insert the hook under both bars of your stitch, yarn over a second time, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And you can see there you've got your turning chain up the side and your first stitch. And then we carry on as we did with our first row. I'm going to do a few rows of this for you and then we can have a little look at how this stitch is slightly taller than the single crochet. So I'll see you in a few minutes once I've worked that, because I'm assuming you don't want to sit and watch me work it all up for you. And hopefully you've had a chance to practice as well. You should be able to see there's a slight difference between these rows of single crochet here, which is very, very dense, that's the narrowest stitch, and then we move to the half double crochet here, which is a slightly higher stitch, and it's a little bit more lacy. It's still quite dense and very, very cozy if you're making cardigans and sweaters from it, but it just moves a little bit more and gives you a bit more drape than the single crochet does. This is great for kind of household dish towels, dishcloths, that kind of thing. So have a little practice and let me know how you get on.